Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the I Talk Back Sports Show. Today is Wednesday, May the 24th, 2017. We are halfway through the off season for the NFL. Don't you feel great about that?
Yes.
I'm joined by my Macintosh Challenge co-host Jamal Bunner. Jamal and I have been on an unofficial spring break, and we're back. We've realized that so little has happened since we've been gone. So let's scrimp and scramble and try to find something. Okay, Jamal. Hi, buddy.
Hi, Kay.
Would you like to give a shout out?
um, Kay, and in a though they are the enemies of my favorite basketball team. I would like to give a respectful shout out to the San Antonio Spurs and to the being that team that continues to stay together and not breaking up, and to seeing that next year a large majority of this team is going to be back and playing again for more than likely the Western Conference Finals championship. So shout out to the Spurs. You keep rolling along. Much respect. Kay, what about you?
Well, much like you, I would like to give a shout out to the Spurs. Thank you for losing and for me winning my bet. Today, I would have had to put on a hideous jersey
Yeah.
and live broadcast this show, but I won my bet. So this is a wonderful thing. I would like to shout out to them for being the middle of the road, being just good enough to. And I miss Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes, happy belated Mother's Day. Exactly.
That's right. So let's just get into it, Jamal.
Yes.
NBA playoffs.
Yeah. So Golden State swept again. They've won 27 of their last 28 games this season. And they have broken the record that was held by two Los Angeles Lakers playoff squads that started the playoffs 11-0, moving to 12-0, and they are going to be in the catbird seat waiting for the winner of the Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, which honestly it looks like it should have been Cleveland already, but maybe to make things interesting, they took it to a Game 5, and so that, I believe, is tomorrow night, right, in Boston? So, yeah, thank you. So, that being said, we look like we are setting up for the third time around Golden State versus Cleveland. And we will cover that next week more in depth once the actual matchup is official, because the playoffs will start on June 1st.
Okay. Yeah. So, the reason why I pause and hesitate, it's kind of the thing that you were moaning, or at least I was bitching and moaning about at the beginning of the season. How you knew who could be in this position. Nothing has surprised me, and I do mean absolutely nothing. And I kind of want a surprise or two when I'm spending so much time and effort to watch a basketball game. But, it's all the build up. Everyone is waiting for this next series to happen. The things that I am looking forward to in the season shortly, very briefly, is the role that Kevin Durant will play for the Golden State Warriors. I want to see who's going to drop off or not be as aggressive in scoring, and how the other players kind of step up and make up for the deficit, because we know that not all of them at all times are just scoring and on top of their game. They do rely heavily on each other. So I will be interested to see how Golden State does that. as far as the Cleveland Cavaliers, I just want to see how they can get back to being a well-oiled machine, which I feel that they are when
Mm,
they want to be,
hmm.
and defensively, how physical they can be with Golden State. Because if they can sustain physicality throughout the series, then they do have a strong advantage. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to in this next series.
I'm sorry. Right now, my mind is blown. You you don't like basketball, and you just gave a real good. So yeah, I'm. I too am looking forward to seeing what Kevin Durant does in these upcoming finals. I think that you're going to see a very different, as long as he stays healthy, that you're going to see a very different result from last year. And I don't think that the Cavaliers have an answer for the amount of scoring that is going to come at them this time around. They don't match up well. So I think that ultimately, as long as they stay true to their game plan, move the ball around, Cleveland's not going to do well with this series. But the same way that I told you that the game last night was going to be a blowout, I could always be wrong. So we'll see what happens.
We definitely will do that.
So you basketball, huh? Interesting. You,
Well, hey, I waited all these months for this to be 2 3 weeks. You waited 3 months for something, and I mean, waited months for the 3 weeks of action. You put a lot of thought into it.
I mean, that was really a great report. I don't mean to do this on air, but we could have been
Yeah,
talking
you know,
basketball all season.
well, shit. So the NFL made some changes, okay, to the overtime rule. You and
Why?
I have different views about overtime.
Mm, good.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so what do you think about them moving the time down 5 minutes?
I
You
think.
think? Hmm.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your question. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. That's enough.
I think it's a waste. I think that they should, honestly, this is one of those times where I think it's a little too much meddling, and that I don't see, for player safety, I like the idea. But in terms of an actual result coming from it, I don't see that this is going to do anything different. And if you're going to shorten overtime to that extent, again, I go with my crazy ideas of just let the kickers kick field goals. Move the ball back. So, in the name of player safety, that is, because otherwise, I don't really and truly see the point of cutting off 5 minutes from overtime. I really don't.
I really don't think that I mean, they can say player safety, but that's not truly it. I think it has more to do with they're wanting a game to be over with and done by a certain time because of various reasons. Another game, programming on the networks that gets pushed back, little bitty stuff like that. I don't think it has anything to do with player safety because in the scheme of things, you're thinking in 10 minutes, it could be what, two or three possession changes. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? There's not
Mm-hmm.
plays that could possibly be ran because everyone is playing tough defense. So not, I mean, I don't buy it, but hey, they felt the need to change it, so we'll see. They also changed or lax on the celebration
Yes.
rules, and we're definitely happy about that,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes, when you run past 10 people and score a touchdown, you can do whatever you want to do, or 11 people, you can do whatever you want to do.
Well, about that doing whatever you want to do, I believe
I
there are
mean,
some limitations,
within,
though, right?
okay, so maybe you shouldn't do anything to offend someone, but you should be able to celebrate with your teammates that help you get into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you should be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, no,
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
oh, by all means. Yeah, you do remember I was one of those big complainers last fall about this, and that was really an irritating thing. I mean, it's not gonna make up for the bad matchups that they put on Thursday nights, but I mean, it's gonna at least make it a little more interesting. So apparently, however, the league is still frowning upon what it calls offensive demonstrations, and so again, you're going to have those situations where either what they call prolonged celebrations that delay the game and celebrations that are directed at opponents, those will be penalized. So while this means, from what I'm reading here, that the situation where Antonio Brown was twerking after the touchdown will probably still draw a flag. So what's the point? I mean, if you're going to do this, if you're going to make this change, really make the change. And I think that you don't make it as subjective as what this looks like. So what may be prolonged to me may to you just be, hey, they're just getting started. And what happened to taunting? Why can't we taunt? I scored a touchdown. You didn't stop me. Why can't I taunt? Get over it. You should have stopped me. So the celebration is not directed at the other. Please, whatever. So this is what I'll say. It's a start. It's a move away from what it was, but it's not enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not. But it is a start. At least it'll stop us from complaining a little bit about it. And I just want to know, like, do the players get their money back for all those now? That's something that I'm gonna be interested to know.
Nah.
And if they do get fined, where does all this money go? I mean, but those are the things that I wonder.
I'm sure the NFL is making charitable donations on their behalf with these fines.
Wink, wink. Sure, they are.
Oh, yeah. Ouch. So with these celebrations that are now going to possibly come back, out of curiosity, what have been some of your more memorable touchdown celebrations as we look forward to seeing them return almost in earnest this fall?
I like the Sharpie.
Joe Horn?
I'm sorry?
Was that Joe Horn?
Yes.
Of the New Orleans Saints? Yes.
Yes. I like that. I love Merton Hanks with the neck action. Love that. Like, he should have had a concussion just by that alone. Of course, I like the Charger Merriman with the electric bolt crazy crap that he used to do. I like that as well. What about you, Jamal?
I've got a couple of them. I'm going to go old school. I love former Cowboy great Butch Johnson and the earthquake and the 6-gun shooter at the end of it. And I also love coming forward Antonio Brown and that diving into the goalpost, which straddling the goalpost, exactly. Which it's painful to watch on one hand, but on the other hand, you're just like, oh, it's the utmost sinless. But I think Joe Horn was probably one of the best ones. That beats the cutesy of Ezekiel's Thanksgiving Day one, which that was cute. You gotta give it to him. But I'm looking forward to seeing that come back. And oh, by the way, I love that was. I'm sure that one helped because that was kind of one of those. Well, we're gonna find you. Well, okay, but I already gave a donation to Salvation Army in the same amount, so it's all good, right? Dang. So, or they could just say, look, why don't you all prepay your fines on this and, do whatever it is that you're going to do. Yeah, I would be like, NFL, here's $100,000 to you. That should cover me for about 10 celebrations. So, very quickly, if I may, I want to quickly touch upon one of our favorite subjects, which is the Major League Baseball, and give a quick report on our teams and how they are doing. Kay's team is this year, her actual team, the Texas Rangers, and she is following the Cubbies, the world
Yeah.
champion Cubs.
So my team, even with a 10 win streak, a 10 game win streak is at least 7 games behind. How the hell you win 10 games straight and still be 7 games behind? So our pitching really helped us during these 10 wins. We
Mm-hmm.
hadn't had to go to our relievers, and so that's really helped us because our pitching is not as good as it's been in the past. Joey Gallo has been excellent. Okay, with the home run ball. So we're really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am still concerned about our pitching. I have not been following up on the Cubs as I should have. I did not turn in my homework. The dog ate it. It
I
Mama
will inform
left it in
you. Your
my car.
Cubs are sitting one game back in the NL Central.
I
Uh,
was
Go
my,
ahead.
my excuses, but go ahead.
No, you were good. You were good. Your Cubs are doing all right. They're we're not even in midseason, and they're hanging around. I just wanted to say about your Rangers that you are in the division with the Astros, and the Astros, this is what they do, and that the Rangers have done this before and clawed back in. This isn't even y'all's time of year, okay? So you're
Yeah, not this year. We are not as prepared as the Astros are. They went out of this offseason and they made major moves, whereas we did absolutely nothing. So, thanks, Jamal. That sounds good.
I think that you might want to check back in a little bit closer to the All-Star break, and things may look a little different. Funny things happen in June and July.
Yeah, not gonna happen. But okay.
So my teams are my New York Mets, who have been in the news for all the wrong reasons, are languishing 8 games back of the Nationals, and with no, basically we've reverted back to being the regular Mets. The other team that I am responsible for following this summer is the Baltimore Orioles, who are 2.5 games back of the resurgent New York Yankees in the American League East, making this a very interesting matchup, and seeing a rejuvenated American League East is great for ESPN. So with that, looking forward to checking back in next month with our baseball check-in. So I got a question for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so you know about my boy, and I've had issues with the way that Colin Kaepernick has been handled this offseason in terms of people he's talked to. And apparently he went to Seattle and they had a talk, nothing official. But what would you think about Colin Kaepernick as Dak Prescott's backup?
I think we talked about this maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think that it would be an excellent idea. I feel that he's a better option than Moore and the rookie quarterback that the undrafted quarterback out of Florida. I think that he would be very good for what we have if there is a possibility that something happens to our quarterback. I
Mm-hmm.
would find the idea. Um, Kaepernick, I feel, he made his point. He said that he would not protest in that way again on the field. And of course, he cannot be a Dallas Cowboy and be a member of America's team
Right.
and up for the national anthem. So that is definitely not an issue. So I'm all for it.
All right. I'm I'm somewhat for it. I have a little. I don't see him as a backup quarterback. I see him as more of a legitimate starter, and I'm not sure that this is a situation in which Dak needs to have someone who is trying to press to get on the field to start. So I wish him well in wherever, but I'm hoping that we are not the landing spot for him just for the sake of drama and so forth. Now, let me offer you this one. RG3 as the backup to Dak?
I do not feel that RG3 is dimensional enough to be our backup quarterback.
Mm. Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know health wise
Mm-hmm.
if he's able to sustain himself over a period of time in the season. So for those two reasons,
Mm.
it's a no for me, dog.
Mm. So here's the thing. RG3 sat in Washington quietly as they talked bad about him, kind of embarrassed him, and he made no waves. He went to Cleveland, bad line, no wide receivers. He was doing okay, but did get himself injured because he felt he had to win the game. I like his spirit. I like knowing that he is not going to cause any waves and that he's a local boy and that'll give him an opportunity to maybe start to resurrect his career as Dak's backup and try to, give him a few lessons. Bottom line, I like RG3 as a backup to Dak. I think that would be a very good learning experience and a way to sell some more jerseys. So, yeah.
Well, if we're depending on RG3 to bolster our top five, the top five list for jerseys sold, I don't think we should be depending on that from him.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Unless he's gonna knock off Tom Brady, so we can fill that top four. Yeah, no. But that's good that you're giving him a chance. I don't want to see him on my team. I really don't care for him. But hey,
What?
yeah, no.
Well, it's either that or, our boy might go out and try to get Johnny Manziel. So, he has a soft spot for him.
Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen either. But
He's
I
he's got that soft spot for him, though.
yeah, he does have a soft spot, but not gonna happen.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you have for this wonderful podcast?
Kay, it's that wonderful time of year in which, no, I haven't even been watching NASCAR. All that I can say to you is that I'm looking forward to the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday. This is not going to turn into a Nate situation. It's just one of those things that I love to do is get up and watch the 500. And one of these days, you're going to go with me, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy all the all the racing that is a part of one of the grand spectacles of Memorial Day.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'm always ready to buy a plane ticket and ask questions later. That's me.
I can't fault you for that. So, Kay, do you have anything to add?
Oh no, it's great us doing this again. We need to get back on schedule, because it's gonna get busy pretty soon here. So, this was nice, Jamal. It's a great show.
And yes, with this being somewhat of the off season, we're going to try to do a couple of things a little bit differently. So there may be a few little tweaks and so forth in the coming weeks, and we hope that they are ones that are appreciated and are ones that maybe they can stick around. We'll see what happens. But in the interim, Kay, thank you very much as always.
Yes, Jamal.
Appreciate you. Have a good week.
All right, you too.
All right, thanks. Bye.